rats are the most hated of all the creatures, but if they have a purpose, so we do. I was tearing up. I'm like, we're talking about this like crackhead rat trapper dude that controls rats, and I'm out here like kind of like my eyes are watering.
Welcome. So we're about to talk about the Suicide Squad movie that has just released. Before we really get into it, I really liked the movie. I thought it was a solid DC superhero movie, and this makes me more excited to see what the future of DC has.
Hello, my name is Chuku. I also enjoyed the movie. It's definitely better than the first one by a landslide.
My name is Crystal. I thoroughly enjoyed Suicide Squad, a lot more than I thought. I mean, I went in with no expectations, but it easily broke into my top 5, maybe top 3 DC movies, which isn't saying a lot. Well, we don't have a lot of like really great DC movies to go off of, but it definitely hyped me up for more DC projects in the future, and we know they're gonna be a lot more, so looking forward to it.
What's up, guys? My name is Scott, and I enjoyed the movie overall. We're about to get into it. First, we're going to talk about the story and plot, what we thought of that. Second, we're going to talk about like our negatives, what we didn't like about the movie. Third, we're going to talk about like our favorite moments, and then fourth, we'll address like what other people are saying about it. But overall, like story and plot, since we're just going to jump into that.
Let's do it.
I think, as for this movie, it worked. The plot wasn't like the most important aspect, I feel. It was more so the character interactions and like just them having fun, basically.
Yeah.
I agree. It was more of a performance-driven film, which is, I don't know, really hard when you have a huge ensemble cast like this.
That's true.
But it was executed very well. And I was surprised, even like little side characters, like everyone in the control room with like Amanda Waller, they were all really great. Everyone had their own personality. Everyone had a standout moment. And I think that's a lot harder to pull off than people think. And I think it was done very well.
Yeah, definitely.
But overall, I guess the moment that stood out that goes with the story is the Harley Quinn moment where she gets that I don't know his name, but she basically becomes like the boyfriend of the
girlfriend of dictator.
Dictator,
Whoever's
boyfriend, whatever. Yeah, dictator, right?
Not important. He dies immediately.
He dies immediately. But my point is, what I loved about that moment was why she wanted to kill him, right? And it kind of reminded me about what happened with Birds of Prey when she talks about kids and like she's against the whole idea of like people trying to kill kids and whatnot. And that moment to me, even though this was a silly movie, I kind of felt that moment. Like it was kind of to me somewhat of a heart moment.
It was a perfect character moment for the story because like it wouldn't make sense if it was any other character for that to have happened. But then the fact that it was Harley Quinn and like she was in that moment, that's the exact thing that Harley Quinn in that moment would do. And so it makes sense, and it like furthered the story, and it like threw a wrench in things.
Yeah, exactly.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. It's a good thing to be able to tie in the other DC projects to it, which is crazy because a lot of the DC projects seem disjointed, and this Suicide Squad did fit in with like Birds of Prey and everything that we've seen with Harley Quinn so far.
Yeah. I suppose it wouldn't be fair to completely excuse the story though, right?
Yeah.
So we should talk about like actual plot elements like Starro.
Right. Starro, that was
interesting.
I think for me the story was a basic story. Like it wasn't complex, it wasn't complicated. They weren't trying to do too much, and I think that was a net positive for the movie. Although it did, I don't know why, but the ending with the whole like world-ending or world like threatening like monster and the CGI fights, like, do we have to always have like just this huge third act that has to deal with this gigantic?
I liked it.
Yeah,
because the whole point, they kind of made a joke out of it. That's what I liked about it.
I say for this movie, yes.
It works because they made a joke out of it.
But here's a huge issue that comes up though.
Yeah.
It's the fact that Amanda Waller was like, oh, you guys can just let it destroy everything? Do you not realize what this thing can do? It could take over the entire world.
It could, but assuming that this is supposed to be in the DC universe, I think that worst comes to worst, the Justice League can handle it.
Yeah, but
well, there in some iterations of the story, Starro beats the Justice League.
Yeah,
kind of
did you remember
interesting.
in Justice League, it actually like captured Superman at some point?
Okay, I
Yeah.
didn't remember that, so I guess.
But I'm not excusing anything, but I feel like Amanda Waller has her convictions. She's a woman that's dedicated to the job, and she does not care about anything else or anyone else. And
Yeah.
you could tell with the team kind of basically doing their own little coup in the control room.
Viola
Yeah.
Davis is fantastic.
Perfect casting is
Waller.
perfect.
Always,
She's the best casting of
Yeah.
all the DC
Yeah.
casting, really.
Yeah.
I mean, at least for that moment when she was acting stupid, someone hit her in the head. That was one of my favorite moments.
Well, see, so
but-
there was like something came out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say, going back to this movie again, this is definitely a movie that's more style over substance. So it's like,
Yeah.
if you're not a big fan of these kinds of style movies, like, Scott Pilgrim or even Baby Driver, which I really love, then like Logic and stuff, if you're really more obsessed with that, it's definitely gonna hurt your head. But overall,
might
I
get
definitely...
It's, yeah, just because there's the whole thing of it not being like totally chronological order. It like skips around, jumps around, and
Yeah.
relies on a lot of
There's like
stylish movie
flowers
making.
floating
Yeah.
around as
Exactly.
Harley Quinn.
There's a lot of there's a lot of stylish movie making tricks that I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
James Gunn kind of relied on heavily.
Yeah. But I at the end of the day, I think the plot served the movie. I don't think he was trying to make like Inception or anything like that, but it was a basic plot that I think was good for the movie.
Yeah. It worked for this one because it's more of like making little moments for each character that
Yes,
make them stand
exactly.
out and make you empathize or sympathize with them.
Yeah.
So we can move on.
Yeah.
Any gripes or grievances with this film?
So my only
Yeah.
grievances, this goes back to it being a style versus substance thing. This kind of goes back with Amanda Waller. I did not like, although I know why they did it, because this is kind of the comedy of the aspect of the movie, but I feel like if she got betrayed by that group of people, they would all be dead.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
mean,
way
I was gonna
they
say-
were alive at the end.
Because for me, I called back to the first Suicide Squad movie where she did kill everyone in the control room when she was saved, basically at the end of the movie. Remember, by the Suicide
Yeah.
Squad.
I don't remember. I don't remember that at all.
No, the objective was to like save her. I guess that was like half the mission, and then like she like just took a gun out and like killed everyone else in the control room.
Yeah, I remember
so
now. Yeah.
when they like knocked her out, I was like, these guys are dead. And when they were alive, I was like, change of heart. Amanda
Exactly,
Waller?
yeah.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, because in the first place, she was acting like an idiot, in my opinion.
No, she could have killed them. I was scared for their lives when they did that.
Yeah, I agree. But
Speaking on style too, I know we were just talking about it. One of the stylish things that James Gunn I feel like really relied on was flashbacks and a lot of like 13 minutes earlier, an hour earlier, 2 days earlier.
Yeah.
It's cool if you have that like once or twice, like at the end of the movie or in the beginning, but it was like pretty much sprinkled throughout the movie like a lot, and it was getting like a little repetitive for me because it's like I don't need to like do this and go back like a couple minutes, like just play the movie through sometimes.
I think it kind of got a little much when all those moments where it's like 3 days earlier or like now you have like you see it written in the sand or whatever, and like it was cool, but then when it kept going throughout the entire movie, I'm like, okay, we're doing.
I like when there's like titles of like arcs or parts of the film, but like there was like a lot of it with like Project Harley, Project blah blah blah. And it's like, there's a lot.
I thought it was fun. I didn't mind it personally. Yeah.
I
could have done without it, but it's okay.
I think if he like changed it up a bit, I don't know how, but like it was always like kind of the same thing. That's why I say it was like repetitive
I see.
sometimes.
I guess if I had another grievance with the movie, so this kind of goes with the themes because it's like Suicide Squad. The whole point of Suicide Squad is the questioning whether it's right to have, villains be used as soldiers to help the greater good, right? Even though they're being used as like, again, like they're being treated as like pawns. And that's like one of the most interesting moral dilemmas with Suicide Squad. Even though this movie, it's kind of there, it's just not presented in the way I would like the Suicide Squad to be presented. But then again, at the same time, this goes back to the whole style versus substance, where the style of the movie is meant to be more of a comedical
But the thing is, that now that you mention it, they don't seem like villains at all.
Yeah.
They were overwhelmingly good in this one.
Yeah.
That's a great point, actually, because you're right. Like, if they focused more on substance over style, I think that they would have actually, like, shown things that would have made these people look like bad guys. Like, these are villains. Like, these deserve to be in jail for the rest of their lives. Because of like, but then we have Idris Elba like arguing with his daughter, and it's like, oh, heart and all of that stuff. So
and he was the first one to be like, oh, let's fight Starro, no question. It seemed like the only one who was actually morally ambiguous, like fully morally ambiguous, was Peacemaker.
Yeah.
That's true, but I will say, even though they don't feel like villains, the fact they didn't care about killing all these other soldiers and stuff like that, kind of.
That's pretty evil, but there was that one part.
Yeah, so.
But they made it out to be like a complete joke.
All right, good. That goes back to the whole
lady was okay with it.
They felt kind of bad about it, so it's like maybe they're not bad.
Yeah, so that just goes there. But yeah, I agree with that. So that's kind of my gripe with it. Again, Suicide Squad.
Huge one for me.
Yeah.
Like Rick Flag dying.
For
nothing. Pretty much nothing, in my opinion.
I like Rick Flag.
Me too. I liked Rick Flag.
Yeah.
They killed pretty much all the original Suicide Squad members except for Harley.
Basically.
We lost Boomerang. We don't know where that witch girl is, and like everyone else, pretty much dead.
Will Smith is safe.
Will Smith is safe. We have British Will Smith in this one.
Yes.
So.
I love how they made a joke about how like they all have the same abilities, like with Bloodsport and Peacemaker, and it's the same as with Deadshot.
Yeah.
It's like they're basically the same.
But it's cool. I love that scene though when they were trying to one up each other. I think that was really fun with the.
That was fun.
Good comedy there.
I mean, we're about to get into our top favorite moments and stuff, but I suppose for Rick Flag, I just felt like he died for like no good reason, even though a lot of people did. But for him, he's like more of a main character, and that's my problem with it. It's just I wish his death had more impact for me. He kind of just died.
Yeah, that's fair. I think, but it's like it is the Suicide Squad.
Okay, actually, I have another question. At the end, with all those people who had the starfish on their faces, are they dead?
Yes.
Yeah, they're dead.
Okay, I was just making sure. I was being clear on that. Okay.
Yeah. Pretty messed up.
Yeah.
Pretty sure they're dead.
Okay.
Unless you're Superman, you can't survive that.
Okay.
Because the brain guy was saying like, oh, they're like zombies basically. You're talking to like a corpse, you know.
But yeah, favorite moments. I did really like the moments that you guys mentioned earlier.
Yeah, the Harley Quinn moment. Yeah, I mean, not just that, with her talking about her past relationship, that was beautiful because it was more a heart moment. But number two, I love the fight scene. Like that fight scene at the end, way better than the ones in Birds of Prey.
I don't know if that's her, if that's a stunt person, but the physicality during that whole scene, it was like a lot better than Birds of Prey. Like she was actually like killing people, and it was just a bloodbath, and I loved it. It was so pretty. I love the flowers.
Like,
very nice.
In my head, as I was watching, I was also comparing it to the Birds of Prey.
Yeah, when she was not killing people.
When she was not killing people, I was like, what is this decision to just like have her shoot like glitter bombs at people?
Oh, yes.
Like, why? No, shoot people, kill people.
Kill
like,
them.
We got it. We got to kill them right now.
She killed so many people. It was great.
It was great.
I mean, she was using everything. She was using like the prison cage bars. She was using a spear. She was using guns.
It felt
she was
real.
using acrobatics, and there was fight choreo. It was just very like, it was a, I don't know, that people, she was fighting tooth and nail in there, and it was super graceful.
I enjoyed that scene, but I was mainly referring to like when they had the competition, Peacemaker
and Bloodsport.
Bloodsport, there you go. Yeah, when they were like killing people all over the
You
place.
like that one?
Yeah, that was like a hilarious moment.
That was
for
a
me.
good moment too.
For me, a standout moment, I don't know if you guys found this corny or not, but I really like, I thought it was a really heartfelt moment when like Rat Trapper 2 was like controlling all the rats, and you see like the flashback to her and basically her dad, who is Taika Waititi, not even trying to fake a Portuguese accent, saying like, oh, like rats are the most, you know, hated of all the creatures, but if they have a purpose, so we do. I was like, I was tearing up. I'm like, we're talking about this like crackhead rat trapper dude that controls rats, and I'm out here like kind of like my eyes are watering. I don't know. I loved Rat Trapper too. I thought she was a really great, lovely character. Her rat was super cute. Sebastian, like, how do I remember Sebastian's name? That's a rat. But yeah, that was a really cute,
that was a good
heartfelt moment to kind of give a little bit, a scene that's totally ridiculous. Otherwise,
Exactly.
it's like crazy. Like who would think of that? But like it kind of gave that moment a little bit of deepness, like just a little bit more.
Because it could have been corny. Like it could have been like, oh, they just
the rats
defeated
killed
Starro with a bunch of
Starro,
rats. It's like
That's still ridiculous, but
it's still ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, but just that
it's a little less ridiculous.
It's just that 20 seconds of Taika Waititi, like with
Yeah.
that crazy inspirational line that made me feel like, damn, like maybe I have a purpose, bro. I'm like getting choked up just thinking about it.
I was expecting Polka Dot to like do way more.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about Polka Dot.
And then he just died. But then like
I mean, I expected it.
I don't know if-
I didn't
Yeah, I
want him
expected
to
it
die,
too.
but I
I
knew
don't
he
know
was
if he's
going
dead
to.
though. I think that I heard
He was squished by Starro.
I don't know if he's dead though, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, he has a Star Labs connection. Maybe
He has
his
a
mom
Star
will
Labs,
revive
yeah,
him
seriously, who
and
knows?
make him even
yeah,
worse.
maybe he's stuck in the Polka Dot universe
Yeah.
dimension.
He might
He
get
just
that.
sees his mom
and
every
I
time.
love the
man.
mention of Star Labs. I love anything
Yeah,
and
they
every. I
mentioned
love
Star Labs.
any and every
He's not
DC Easter
dead.
egg.
He's in the Speed Force. I'm just kidding.
It's not
Star Labs.
Polka Dot verse.
Polka dot
Polka dot
force.
Polka dot
Polka dot force. Maybe.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, those were some good moments. I definitely loved all those. And again, even with the style of the camera and like the zoom ins and stuff like that, even with the fights, I think
I
they
was thinking
also.
of some funny parts.
I mean, even generally, I mean, anything you come in, yeah, I just love them all.
The whole opening sequence was like pretty insane too.
That was beautiful.
I think the weasel guy was probably when he started drowning. I was like, oh, okay, we're in for something really
Yes,
funny.
exactly.
We're in for something special. And and then like half of them died, and I was like, all right,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I kind of knew
More
this
than
was.
half.
I knew this was gonna happen, but it's still kind of crazy to see.
Yeah, I was like, part of me was hoping that Pete Davidson would survive, but
Yeah,
Me,
we
not
knew
me.
he was.
I was like, kill him. I had him for like the first person to die, and I was right.
all these characters had great moments. Amanda Waller, like at the end, when right before she gets knocked out, like that was the perfect. Like Viola Davis was putting her all
Prime Viola
into
Davis.
that.
The part when
She was gonna kill him.
Yeah.
Oh, that part. Yeah.
And like Amanda Waller, like that. Like this is Amanda Waller. Like
This is, I know, I'm
this
getting
is
chills.
Amanda
This
Waller.
is Amanda
Oh,
Waller.
yes, exactly.
Oh, so good, so good, so good.
I know. As DC fans, we're just like, we'll take like crumbs, like give it to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I appreciate James Gunn giving that to us at least. You
Yeah,
know, these
definitely.
little crumbs here and there, and just giving us like just a crazy balls to the wall like insane film that's like not perfect but just very fun.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly fun.
Yeah.
I think to me what makes
You know-
this movie.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Peacemaker actually got what he wanted at the end. Thinking about it just
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
he got what he wanted. The drive never got released.
Yeah, there's a little bit of moral ambiguity for you because they chose to protect themselves, like, you know, the remaining Suicide Squad members instead of
Yeah.
like putting that out in the open. There's that. So
Yeah, so that Rick Flag died for.
Well, I mean, I guess it makes because Rick Flag isn't a criminal, so he
That's
would
true.
have wanted to do the honorable thing, which would have been to like release the.
wait,
the
why
drive
was he
to the
there?
World,
By
because he's
volunteering?
supposed to be the one who like is in
Managing
control of
them.
everybody
Yeah.
and all of that stuff.
True.
So
I guess. I thought he
Yeah.
would be over it after the first film.
You'd think. I guess it makes sense that he had to die in order for that plan to work because he wouldn't have been on board with that.
That's true.
So
That's true.
Yeah, I think also.
But then
It was-
Peacemaker could have lived.
Whoa. Did you
Well,
see the credits?
wait, did you see the after credit?
Wait, no, I didn't.
Oh, he's
alive.
alive now.
Oh, he is.
yeah.
Well,
Oh,
there's
shit.
news for you.
I need to watch that.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of, he's alive, and like the guy
that's
from
what I
the
was gonna
control
ask.
room, the big guy with the
Yeah.
beard, and like the blonde girl who are from the control room, I think they're gonna be the opposites of John Cena in the Peacemaker series because they're making a Peacemaker series project that James Gunn is leading at HBO Max. I think.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's setting that up.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought when you said after credits, you meant the Weasel scene.
No, there's another
Just the
sound. See, that's what happens because you guys watched it in theaters, right?
I did. Yeah.
I did.
Okay, yeah, we watched it in the
HBO.
HBO, so
Yeah.
I didn't know until you mentioned it. So
You
I
couldn't just like fast forward and see any frames at the end?
To be fair, I was watching a bunch of movies.
I tried
so I was like, once I was done.
I told y'all, I was like, don't miss the after credit.
Yeah, I checked that.
I'll watch it later.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, he's alive. Never mind.
Everything Scott said is now valid. Well, it still kind of goes to the point that why kill him if you're going to bring him back to life, but either way, it still plays an important role.
We shall see.
Yeah.
But we want to address one thing, at least you mentioned earlier, that other people are saying.
I've been hearing a lot about like how people are saying like this is the best DC movie ever now. And it has like a 90-some%
Like
on
DCEU movie or what?
They don't specify.
I'm assuming DCE.
I'm assuming
the
DCU.
connected universe.
I'm assuming nobody thinks this is better than The Dark Knight. But what do you guys think? Like, people are, and I'm happy that the DC has made a movie that like so many people like. But do you guys think that it is as good as people are hyping it up to be?
So I guess for my opinions, I will say for me this definitely is in the top 5. I feel like for sure like that I definitely enjoyed it a lot.
DCEU or
DCEU movie.
Okay.
So comparing to a lot of DCEUs, like if I had to,
Yeah.
I definitely. What I was gonna say at the end with this movie, what makes this movie really stand out is that it feels like one, it's very creative, it's very unique, it's very like it doesn't feel like any other movie at all, and then two. One thing about these superhero movies that's going on ever since Captain America: Winter Soldier is that superhero movies are now more feeling like a genre type of movie featuring superheroes. So like Captain America: Winter Soldier would be like a spy movie featuring superhero movies. Yeah. So I feel like this movie is one of those kind of tastes where it's like this is like a action comedy ensemble team featuring superheroes. So it really felt like that. So because of all of that, I definitely do think it's a really top tier movie. I won't say it's the best out there, but I can understand for a certain demographic of people, this could be their best movie out of this DC movie. Maybe they're not into this crazy action over the top stuff of Justice League or, you know.
Technically, I think it was very well made though. And I think one thing I didn't mention earlier is like I think the CG's pretty good.
Yeah, the CG was well done.
Some of the
Definitely.
most realistic
Well done,
CG
yeah.
I've ever seen.
It was better than Black Widow.
I had the same thought. I was like,
Black Widow.
I was like, whoa, now that I'm thinking about it, Black Widow CGI was terrible.
Yeah, it looked so real. Like when the building was like collapsing, I was like, is this like, how did they do this?
Yeah.
And like even having like a
Even
shark.
Starro.
Even like the
Starro,
Starro, even like the shark guy, you know, I was like, he had like the texture. I was like, dang, like we're gonna see like the shark have his own scene, and I'm like, oh, that works because he looks good.
He seems realistic.
And I don't know, there's just a lot of really great like technical things and just things. I think like the costume design is really cool and
Bloodsport's costume is like sick.
Costume design, set design. I think
his mask too.
For me, it definitely breaks like my top 5. I mean, it's easy for me to like name like my top 2 or 3. And then after that, it gets kind of hazy for me, but I feel like Suicide Squad 2 definitely broke into like top 5 at least for me.
Definitely.
So I think I say believe the hype. I think it's or maybe it's because I had 0 expectations for it, but I think it deserves the praise.
Yeah, I need more time to think about this because my list of DC, even though we made a video on it, we made a video on it.
I know.
I just don't remember like what I put on as that like the sequence.
Well, if you don't remember the DC movies, maybe it did break like the top for you, dude.
Yeah.
I'm sure it broke the
This
top.
might be like my 5 of like the best, because I'm running through like my favorite DCEU movies in my head right now. This might be like 5 for me. I mean, I know I like a lot of the other DCEU movies more than most people do, so it is what it is. Do you think that this is like legitimate hype, or is it hype over the fact that like it's James Gunn attached to it, or?
I mean, it's a great entertaining movie. Like
It
overall.
is.
It doesn't even matter if DC's attached to it. You know, it's still
just
fun movie to
Yeah,
watch.
I think it's real hype because it's not becoming like a cultural phenomenon. Not everyone I know is like watching it or planning on watching it. But I think everyone who does watch it is like pleasantly surprised, like myself.
Exactly.
Yeah, because what else do we have to compare to as far as like a James Gunn superhero film? It's like Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's, I mean, that's different. I mean, there's similarities, but this is more like Deadpool or something. Like, it's like just crazy.
And even then, this is more, you can say, more nonsensical than Deadpool with the violence and everything.
It's Deadpool with a huge ensemble.
Yeah, exactly. Like, even Deadpool still feels more anything can
It
go.
feels like 10 Deadpools.
Basically.
I like literally thought they were all gonna die at one point. I was
Literally,
like,
at one point they all
I feel
could
like the
die.
shark guy could still kill one of them. Like,
I actually thought that with the starfish at the end, I thought, oh, so this is how the movie's gonna end. They're just gonna walk out with starfish, destroying the thing.
Hilarious.
There it goes.
the
There
world
it
ends.
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Do we want to close off with just a simple rating, however you want to give it?
I guess out of 10, I'll give it an 8.5. Again, this is a movie where it's style. So unless you enjoy the style, I don't think you have the best experience. But overall, if you enjoy the style and the type of movie, like if you're intrigued by that movie, you're definitely gonna have a great time. So I'll give it an 8.5 for me.
Yeah, I'll agree. I think 8.5 is a solid rating for this movie, just because they did focus on like the style and the aesthetic of it more so than like diving into deep themes and making you think about like the whole villain aspect of the Suicide Squad. So I think if it did those things as well as what it was, it would have definitely cracked into that like 9 or maybe high 9.
Yeah, for sure.
I love stylized movies, so yeah, I would go with like an 8.5 too, or 8. Yeah.
Looks like that's all of us. So that's our group rating.
8.5.
8.5.
I don't know if we've ever rated everything the same.
Yeah.
8.25.
Yeah.
8.25.